experience with newcomers and outsiders, so Gracetown had learned to keep its stories to itself. Abby thought she had found her dream job in Gracetown, a fresh start. Her glasses had fogged up with steam from the rain-drenched tarmac as soon as she stepped off the plane at Tallahassee Airport. Her confirmation that she'd embarked on a true adventure, an exploration worthy of Ponce de Leon's storied landing at St. Augustine. Her parents and her best friend, Mary Kay, had warned her not to jump into a real estate purchase until she'd worked in Gracetown for at least a year. The whole thing's so hasty. What if the school's not a good fit? Who wants to be stuck with a house and the sticks in a depressed market? But Abby fell in love with the white lakeside colonial she found listed at $150 for sale by owner. She bought it after a hasty tour. Too hasty, it turned out. But at nearly 3,000 square feet, this was the biggest house she had ever lived in, with more room than she had furniture for, a place with potential, despite its myriad flaws. A place she thought very much like her. The built-in bookshelves in the Florida room sagged. She'd never known that a den could be called a Florida room, but so it was, and so she did. The floorboards creaked and trembled on the back porch, sodden from summer rainfall. And she would need to lay down new tiles in the kitchen right away, because the brooding mud-brown flooring put her in a bad mood from the time she first fixed her morning coffee. But there would be boys at the school, strong and tireless boys, who could help her mend whatever needed fixing. In her experience, there were always willing boys. And then there was the lake. The house was her excuse to buy her piece of the lake and the thin strip of red-brown sand that was a beach in her mind, although it was nearly too narrow for the beach lounger she'd planted like a flag. The water looked murky where it met her little beach, the color of the soil. But in the distance, she could see its heart of rich green blue like the ocean. The surface bobbed with rings and bubbles from the hidden catfish and brim that occasionally leaped above the surface, damn near daring her to cast a line. If not for the hordes of mosquitoes that feasted on her legs and whined with urgent grievances, Abby could have stood with her bare feet in the warm lake water for hours, the house forgotten behind her. The water's gentle lapping was the meditation her parents and Mary Kay were always prescribing for her, a soothing song. And the isolation, a gift to be treasured. Her property was bracketed by woods of thin pine, with no other homes within shouting distance. Any spies on her would need binoculars and a reason to spy, since the nearest homes were far across the lake, harmless little dollhouses in the anonymous subdivision where some of her students, no doubt, lived. Her lake might as well be as wide as the Nile, protection from any envious whispers. As if to prove her newfound freedom, Abby suddenly climbed out of the tattered jeans she'd been wearing as she unpacked her boxes, whipped off her t-shirt, and draped her clothing neatly across the lounger's arm rails. Imagine, she was naked in her own backyard. If her neighbors could see her, they would be scandalized already, and she had yet to commence teaching at Gracetown Prep. Abby wasn't much of a swimmer. She preferred solid ground beneath her feet even when she was in the water. But with her flip-flops to protect her from unseen rocks, Abby felt brave enough to wade into the water, inviting its embrace above her knees, her thighs. She felt the water's gentle kiss between her legs, the massage across her belly, and finally a liquid cloak upon her shoulders. The grade was gradual, with no sudden drop-offs to startle her, and for the first time in years, Abby felt truly safe and happy. That was all Gracetown was supposed to be for Abby LaFleur. New job, new house, new lake, new beginning. For the week before summer school began, Abby took to swimming behind her house daily, at dusk, safe from the mosquitoes, sinking into her sanctuary. No one had told her, not the realtor, not the elderly widow she'd only met once when they signed the paperwork at the lawyer's office downtown, not Gracetown Prep's cheerful headmistress. Even a random first grader at the grocery store could have told her that one must never, ever go swimming in Gracetown's lakes during the summer. The man-made lakes were fine, but the natural lakes that had once been swampland were to be avoided by children in particular.